Now on CoastTV News.
Robert Card, the man accused of killing 18 people in Maine, found dead. What note officials say he left that indicates he didn't expect to be found alive. Police are investigating a deadly crash in Millsboro and where in town a pedestrian was killed. Sea Witch took the city of Rehoboth Beach by storm today. All of the fun festivities at the parade.
Okay, is it fall or summer? Because that warm weather, it is going to linger on for now, but a cold front will be bringing a drastic change in time for Halloween.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Britt Leone. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We're starting this evening with a deadly crash in Millsboro. Police are investigating the crash that happened Wednesday night that killed 77-year-old Bruce Peterson of Millsboro. Police say it was here on Long Neck Road east of School Lane Road in Millsboro where the accident happened. Police say that Peterson was walking along the shoulder when a Chrysler and Ford were driving on Long Neck Road. Nearing Peterson, police say he wasn't wearing any reflective clothing or carrying a light. He walked into the lane in front of the Chrysler, who tried to slam the brakes but hit Peterson. The Chrysler was hit by the Ford that was driving behind it. Anglers interested, Maryland's Department of Natural Resources released a recent fishing report. The report says fishing for white perch is excellent this week in the tidal rivers and creeks. Water temperatures are below the 60-degree mark, so the white perch will move to deeper waters. In the lower bay, anglers who are bottom fishing with bait are catching a few spot and mix of sea trout, kingfish, black sea bass. There are some good opportunities too for largemouth and smallmouth bass, yellow perch, trout, walleye, and northern pike fishing at Deep Creek Lake. Taking a live look now into Rehoboth Beach with our Boardwalk Plaza camera. It looks like a pretty calm night. It feels like summer. Our first alert meteorologist Jeanette Gallardo is joining us now with a look at the weather. Good evening, Jeanette. How much longer is it going to feel like summer?
Good evening, Britt. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not complaining about these summer-like temperatures. They are here to stay for just a couple more days, but as we head into next week, particularly on Tuesday, we are going to start feeling the effects of a cold front. But right now, like you mentioned, still feeling like a summer night. Temperature sitting at 65 in Salisbury as we take a live look out of our Spicer Brothers construction camera this evening. And to put things into perspective, for today, we did reach a temperature high of 83 in Georgetown. That is just 1 degree shy of the record high of 84 that was set back in 1984. And across the area, we saw those very warm temperatures even reaching 86 in Ocean City. 84 was the high temperature this afternoon in Salisbury. So it is definitely feeling a little bit more like summer. In fact, right now we are seeing a temperature 4 degrees warmer than this time last night in Salisbury, about 2 degrees cooler in Georgetown, 5 degrees warmer at this time in Ocean City. We are seeing those temperature readings in the mid to upper 60s, 67 at the Indian River Inlet, currently 63 in Georgetown, 64 is the current temperature in Milton. And as we head through the rest of the evening, we are going to see that temperature stay in the 60s, but cold is on the way. I'll explain more on what this means for next week in just a few more minutes.
Okay, thank you, Jeanette. And the temperature was definitely nice for Sea Witch today. Lots of excited people and our CoastTV News crew. You can see them right there in the Halloween spirit joining the Sea Witch parade today in Rehoboth Beach. You can see we were passing out candy to all of those cute kids in different costumes, different floats there as well. It was a great year for Sea Witch. And with Halloween coming up, the state of Delaware wants you to creep it safe. Yep, you see what I did there. With these tips, parents, the state suggests you walk with your kids when you trick or treat and stick to neighborhoods you're familiar with. Don't let your kids go alone. Teach children to never go into strangers' homes or cars. In case young kids become lost, put a name tag with 2 phone numbers on their costumes before they trick or treat. Kids should know their home phone number and how to call 911. And then decorate costumes and bags with reflective tape or stickers and, if possible, choose light colors. And with the chance of rain on Halloween, the town of Bridgeville wants to warn you about some possible changes to its trunk or treat event. The event will be held outside. In case of extreme weather, the town says it will move indoors to the Bridgeville Public Library. The town says it's going to make this call the day of, or on the 31st. The event is from 6 to 8 p.m., and the town says it's still looking for some volunteers to set up stations if you'd like to help out. In regional news, the Felton Police Department have arrested a Minnesota man for assaulting police officers. According to the police, 38-year-old Lamont Jiggets was arrested on Wednesday, October 25th, after officers responded to a reported physical domestic incident. Police say Jiggets took off before officers arrived, and the victim's statement says Jiggets attempted to throw hot cooking grease on them. Police say Jiggets eventually returned to the residence and headbutted an officer and then spit on 3 others while resisting arrest. In traffic news, there will be some lane closures on the Old Lebanon Road bypass in Dover starting this Monday, October 30th through Friday, November 3rd, because of painting on the bridge. DelDOT says lane closures are going to take place northbound between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and southbound between 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. In national news now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the military has started a, quote, second stage in the war against Hamas. Israeli tanks rolled into northern Gaza overnight. Now, in recent weeks, Israeli tanks made brief missions into Gaza, but this morning, the Israeli military says it had expanded its military operations there with troops still in the field, and that its warplanes had hit 150 underground Hamas targets. You can see the smoke coming up there, including tunnels. Israel reissued an urgent call for Palestinians to evacuate the south of Gaza Strip ahead of the Israeli operation. Gaza is under an almost complete blackout, with internet and phone services cut for more than 12 hours by this morning. Telecom firms and the Palestinian Red Crescent Society says the blackout is because of the Israeli bombardments. Maine Department of Public Safety Commissioner Mike Sawstruck gave more details about where authorities found the body of Lewiston shooting suspect Robert Card. Officials today said his body was found in a box trailer near a recycling center, and that he left a note indicating he didn't expect to be found alive. Rob Kirkpatrick has the latest.
Residents in Maine are waking up Saturday morning to news that authorities found suspected mass shooter Robert Card dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot.
Like many people, I'm breathing a sigh of relief tonight knowing that Robert Card is no longer a threat to anyone.
Law enforcement conducted an extensive manhunt since the Wednesday night shooting rampage that killed 18 people and wounded 13. Officials said they found Card's body in a box trailer near a recycling center, and that he earlier left a note indicating he did not expect to be found alive.
It's a note to a loved one. I wouldn't describe it as a explicit suicide note, but the tone and tenor was that the individual was not going to be around.
The wife of one of the people killed in the Lewiston shooting says she's still processing the fact that the shooter is dead.
First and foremost, I wanted him to be found, apprehended. I wanted to ask questions that will not be answered. Why did you do this? What was the motive? Why would you hurt so many families?
The rampage was the deadliest mass shooting in the United States this year. The oldest killed in the shooting was a 76-year-old man, while the youngest was a 14-year-old boy bowling with his father. Leroy Walker spoke about losing his son, Joey, who tried to stop the shooter with a butcher knife, but was killed.
It leaves you an empty hole that I don't know how it will ever be filled.
I'm Rob Kirkpatrick reporting.
There's more news to cover tonight. Milford moves forward with plans to build a park. What worries people in Milford have about these plans? Volunteers packing boxes of brand new clothes for children, how a local organization is helping those who need it most. And earlier this week in Dagsboro, Town Council voted on a ban about marijuana. What council members decided? We'll be back in just 60 seconds.
Jesse L. Martin is back.
Why crash a plane and let the passenger survive?
That's why you're here.
Why kidnap someone who couldn't afford the ransom. Poison. Why get fancy with polonium when you could shoot the target in the head?
I hear people are irrational.
People do inexplicable things.
Why?
Science.
So this is just a theory.
Gravity was just a theory at one point.
The Irrational, Monday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
Years ago, I escaped from you.
And then you, dear Gabrielle, kidnapped me.
The ones like me that no one else seems to be looking for. My team finds them, and now you're going to help.
What would happen if I screamed?
Gabby, what's in the basement?
Gabrielle! Gabrielle!
Found, Tuesday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
A lot has happened across Delmarva this week. CoastTV News anchor Charlie Sakaitis has you covered in this week's Week in Review.
On Monday, the Dagsboro Town Council voted to ban the sale and the production of marijuana. They did not take public comment at the meeting, but this decision is final. On Tuesday, the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management held a public meeting in Ocean City for the wind farm that is proposed 10 miles off the coast there. The public comment period ends November 20th. Wednesday, the Rehoboth Beach Library Task Force decided the best use for Rehoboth Avenue Library location is to downsize it by a third. The plan still needs to be approved by the city's commissioners before any final changes can be implemented downtown. On Thursday, Sussex County Planning and Zoning voted on two developments. The Twin Masts in Milton was granted preliminary site plan approval, and the Freeman Company's request to rezone for conditional use of a property off Route 54 in Fenwick Island is also moving forward. And Friday, we ran a story about Shrimpy's Restaurant and Bar on Coastal Highway in Rehoboth, which has been temporarily closed. The restaurant closed by the Delaware Health and Social Services. Shrimpy's was officially closed on October 26th. For your Week in Review, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
Ahead on CoastTV News at 11, volunteers packing boxes of brand new clothes for children in Sussex County, how one local organization is helping our most vulnerable.
Summer-like conditions continue for now, but a winter chill will soon arrive. I'll let you know just how cold the air will get when we return from this break.
Stop by and see Rudy Marine at the Ken Narrows Boattoberfest and Boat Show every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in October. Over 100 boats on display, restaurant specials, live music, and more. The Ken Narrows Boattoberfest and Boat Show every weekend in October. Don't miss this boat buying opportunity. Be there.
The new upscale OC Chopsticks Asian Bistro is the place to go for fresh, hand-selected ingredients used to create the most delicious Asian delicacies. Come dine in, have a drink, and let our skilled chefs prepare your authentic Thai, Chinese, and Japanese dishes. At OC Chopsticks, we take what was good and make it better. Sushi rolls, noodle soups, General Tso's chicken, you see where we're going. Anything made fresh is better. Serving lunch and dinner daily, located at the Ocean City Outlets. OC Chopsticks Asian Bistro, we stay fresh.
20 years ago, I escaped from you.
And then you, dear Gabrielle, kidnapped me.
The ones like me that no one else seems to be looking for. My team finds them, and we return them safely. And now, you're going to help.
You think you're not like me?
New case. Where would you have taken her?
I expect you to be brilliant.
Found, Tuesday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Today.
Every day.
We are adding to the star power in our studio.
The biggest names, only on Today.
Worth coming this early, right?
I'm happy to be on the Today Show.
We hear one of your favorite snacks is popcorn.
Oh.
Okay, well, Roka wanted to bring you some.
Oh, look at that.
Never leaving.
Can't wait to see my Today family.
We got Olivia Rodrigo.
We're just getting started, folks.
This has been fantastic.
Everything and everyone you're talking about, only on Today.
Stop by and see Rudy Marine at the Ken Narrows Boattoberfest and Boat Show every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in October. Over 100 boats on display, restaurant specials, live music, and more. The Ken Narrows Boattoberfest and Boat Show every weekend in October. Don't miss this boat buying opportunity. Be there.
It's definitely not feeling like fall right now. It feels more like a summer night. Here is a live look into Salisbury from our Tidal Health camera, where the temperature is sitting at a warm 66 degrees right now. That dew point, though, at 63. So we are seeing some humid conditions right now. I'm well aware of it, as when I step outside, my hair definitely gets a little bit freezier than it should in the fall. And as we head through the rest of tonight in Salisbury, that temperature is going to be staying in the 60s. Now, I do want to mention that we have a coastal flood advisory in effect starting tomorrow, Sunday at 7 a.m. until 1 p.m., mainly for the coast, those low-lying areas and those tidal areas as well, particularly due to the astronomical high tide rather, because of the full moon that we are experiencing right now. As far as that temperature, like I mentioned, very high. We saw that record, or close to record temperature rather, of 83 this afternoon, just a degree shy of that record high of 84 set back in 1984. And at the moment, we are still seeing those temperatures in the 60s. This is what we would see as far as temperature wise, is as a high temperature rather, in the afternoon, and we are seeing it during the 11 o'clock hour at night. So definitely feeling more like a summer night. And as we head into tomorrow, here is a look at your pumpkin patch. Forecast a high of 79. We are going to stay on the dry side, so in my opinion, it's going to be a great day to go picking some pumpkins. But if you'd rather it feel more like fall, well, I would say hold off till next week, as we are going to see those temperatures dropping. This is a look at your low temperatures over the next 5 days. You'll notice that we are going to get into that freezing range by the time we get into Thursday of next week. So it is going to be time to turn on those heaters yet again, all thanks to this cold front that's already to our north. It's going to be moving its way down south very soon. By Monday, it's going to be crossing our area, bringing that very chilly air behind it, especially as we head into Tuesday. By Tuesday afternoon, we are expecting some rainfall. You'll notice this is for Tuesday evening, when I anticipate a lot of kids are going to start going out trick-or-treating, so you will want to have an umbrella nearby, of course a warm jacket as well. And that rain is going to continue even into Wednesday, early Wednesday, although the afternoon I think is going to remain on the drier side. Now, here is a look at your Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling 7-day forecast. We are going to see quite a drastic change in those temperatures from summer to more like winter as we head into next week, and even looking at some rain on Halloween.
All right, thank you, Jeanette. Thanks for letting us know about that cold stretch, and that we will still experience some abnormally warm weather for a little bit more, and even with much colder weather slated for next week. Jeanette explains in this next story why local farmers, they're not too worried about the temperature whiplash.
Vic Priapi is no stranger to the sudden warm and cold spells that we see here every fall. In his experience, this is fairly normal.
I would say that it's always been happening whenever we have a warm stretch in the fall. I don't think it's any worse this year than other years I've seen in the last 15 or 20 years.
Even though we may love them, warm temperatures are not the most ideal for fall crops.
It's better that the weather's cold for those fall crops, because they mature with cooler nights and cooler weather.
Fall crops are, however, susceptible to becoming damaged following longer stretches of warm weather.
If it stays warm for too long, that plant being confused could be detrimental if it gets very cold early, where they might be injured with the cold weather.
Despite the spring-like conditions this week, Vic is hopeful that the colder weather will allow for fall crops to continue thriving.
I think this cold weather coming next week should slow them down and make them realize that winter's coming. It's time to stop thinking it's spring.
There's no need to be spooked by this warm October weather. In fact, I'm told that all of your favorite fall produce is going to be available at all of your local favorite farms. In Georgetown, I'm meteorologist Jeanette Gallardo, Coast TV News.
One local nonprofit says it's been working harder lately to help with the rise in poverty among kids in the area. Telemundo Delmarva and Coast TV News reporter Ana Sofia Roman shows us how the organization Clothing Our Kids is changing the lives of children in our area for the better.
Bob Bluin has been with Clothing Our Kids for the past 10 years. The nonprofit takes orders for clothes from local schools who have students in need. But Bluin says this is the first school year where orders started coming in before classes even started.
We had orders starting in July and August, people ordering clothes for children. And we're taking orders now, not just from the schools, but also from social services and the family shelters.
During the past month of September, Clothing Our Kids provided clothes to more than 1,100 kids in Sussex County.
It's an honor that we can partner with the families in the community and that they feel safe and secure enough to come and share and express their needs.
The charity has 120 volunteers who shop for new clothes, prepare the orders placed by teachers, nurses, and counselors, and then deliver them to the school.
We can give the children the resource, this being the clothes, necessary to have a positive attitude going to school, to have a positive attitude by staying in school. If they have soiled clothes or if they have to you wear the same clothes every day, there's more chance of them being bullied in the school. We don't want that to happen.
Impacting lives one child at a time. In Millsboro, Ana Sofia Roman, Coast TV News.
If you know a child from Head Start Elementary or middle school who needs new clothes, Clothing Our Kids urges you to contact the child's school so they can put in the order. Still ahead on Coast TV News at 11, rows upon rows of lavender in Milton being sold. What plans the buyer has for this iconic farm. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back after this.
Hi, my name is Dr. William Duran. I'm an orthopedic surgeon with Tidal Health Orthopedics. I've had the opportunity to perform more robotic surgery than anyone else in the region, and I'm the only one currently doing anterior robotic approach for total hip arthroplasties in Delaware. And it's been a privilege to see my patients make faster recoveries with minimally invasive techniques that we provide. It's been a pleasure to serve the people of Seaford and the surrounding region as they are friends, families, and neighbors to the Tidal Health community.
Welcome to the Ride Home on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3. First rule of the ride home, we definitely talk about the ride home. In fact, tell all your friends. Second rule of the ride home, we have fun. Top 10 Tuesday, Would You Rather Wednesday, and every day you pick the songs on the high five. And the third rule of the ride home, we don't take ourselves too seriously. You've got enough to stress about. So let me handle the ride home, weekdays from 3 to 7 on Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3.
You're the science guy.
That's Bill Nye. I'm actually the behavioral science guy. Are you familiar with predictable irrationality? Retrospective framing. Attentional blindness. Bereavement sex. That's a thing.
Nothing irrational about that.
Understanding human nature can be a superpower, which is why the FBI ends up calling me.
Did you really help the Rams win the Super Bowl?
Well, that was a risky experiment, but it worked out for them.
The Irrational, Monday at 10/9 Central on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
They targeted doctors in Syria.
Trauma OR is a place for bold action.
You're a very talented doctor, but also a reckless one. I don't trust you.
How long have you been waiting to say that?
You don't give up.
Not even a hurricane could move me.
Transplant, Thursday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
A look from above at the 5 acres that make up Lavender Fields in Milton. The farm that recently went up for sale was just as quickly bought before any potential buyers could weigh in. As Coast TV News reporter Tori Seagrave shows us, the new owner of the property is eager to keep a piece of Milton away from development.
If you take in a deep breath, you can almost smell the lavender. Kate Speaker-Gee walks through the aromatic rows with her son Ryder. The new owner of the Lavender Fields in Milton says she bought the property when she was given a sign from her unborn child.
When I came out here and I saw my son running around and I saw the butterflies, I said to myself, that's Tallulah June, and she's led me here. The goal and my drive in making it accessible to everybody is I want them to feel the magic of it.
Speaker-Gee intends to keep the fields just as they are, including the store with homemade lavender lip balms to the Labyrinth for wandering, while adding new events to bring the community together. Most importantly, she hopes to create a safe space for others grieving from loss. John Heckel, who was also just a boy when his family came to live here in 1972, says the change to his childhood home has been for the better.
I can't stress how rural this area was then. Cows everywhere, fields and fields, and to see it transition over the years, really very cool.
Marie Mayer, who just sold the property and was the first to make soaps with the lavender here, was ready to pass on the land after her wife passed from cancer.
I'm really happy that it's worked out this way. It's just an answer to a dream that the farm continues to be open to the public.
A serene spot in Milton that will continue for generations to come.
The owners of the lavender fields tell me that during this transition of ownership, the fields will remain open, and that is every day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm Tori Seagraves in Milton, Coast TV News.
It's almost time for a time change, and that could be a literal headache. Most of the U.S. falls back an hour when daylight saving time ends November 5th. An expert from the University of Southern California says that's hard on the body. He says it's a good idea to have migraine drugs or painkillers on hand for headaches. Other issues include seasonal affective disorder and sleep cycle disruptions. To help, he suggests that you exercise in the morning and do light therapy. Join us here tomorrow on Coast TV to watch Sunday Night Football. It's the Chicago Bears versus the Los Angeles Chargers tomorrow night. Coverage is going to start at 7 p.m. and then right after the game, as usual, we've got your hyper-local Coast TV news to get you ready for your work week. We'll be right back.
All the natural light of the great outdoors, right in your dining room. Shell Brothers, find your great indoors. All the solitude of the outdoors, without the bad Wi-Fi connection. Shell Brothers, find your great indoors.
We'll go dancing, dancing, dancing with the shadows. Dancing with your shadow.
I know I used to be crazy. That's 'cause I used to be young. Dance, dance the night away.
1025 WBOC.
Okay, let's do this. Who am I this time? Witches! Did not see that coming.
There's a lot at stake here.
What's the worst that could happen?
Join Halo and Coast Country as we ring in the Christmas season with the Collingsworth family's A True Family Christmas on Thursday, November 30th at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center. Feel the Christmas cheer as they sing family favorites along with timeless classics. Help Halo celebrate 16 years of providing service to the homeless in our community. All ticket proceeds go directly to Halo. To purchase tickets, visit haloministry.org.
Well, here I have a final look at your Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling 10-day forecast. Now, if you're a fan of the warmer weather the way I am, well, you'll certainly want to take advantage of tomorrow's weather, a high close to 80 degrees. I wouldn't be surprised if some locations do manage to reach the 80-degree mark. And as we head into Monday, we start to feel the effects of a cool front moving through, high temperature around 77, but it's really Tuesday onward when we really feel the effects. Take a look at those high temperatures, 50 degrees for Tuesday and on Wednesday as well. In fact, Tuesday evening, we are even going to be seeing some showers. So if you are going to be trick-or-treating on Tuesday night, you might want an umbrella and to keep a close eye on the radar as well. And as we look ahead at the rest of the week into next weekend, we gradually do see a warm-up.
Thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Saturday Night Live starts right now. Have a great night.